Here on BBC One, it's time to catch up on the results of the day's football fixtures. Here's Hazel Irvine with the final score.
Very good afternoon to you from Final Score. Season's greetings from us all here. And I can tell you that Newcastle United fans are in particularly festive mood this afternoon because 2 goals from Robert Lee have given the Magpies a 3-1 win over Nottingham Forest and has given Newcastle a 10 points lead at the top of the Premiership tonight. Manchester United, of course, play tomorrow at Ellen Road. And Robbie Fowler is also a very happy man. After 5 matches without a goal, he now has 5 in 2 games, with a hat-trick in Liverpool's 3-1 win over Arsenal at Anfield this afternoon. But in spite of goals from Teddy Sheringham and Chris Armstrong against Bolton, Tottenham lost the chance to go into outright second spot in the division for the first time since 1987. They're still playing there, but as the bottom of the table side have fought back with goals from Scott Green and Gunnar Bergson, it's 2-2 at the moment at White Hart Lane. And the latest scores as we have them in the Premiership: Coventry City 2-1 now up on Everton. Liverpool just confirm 3-1 winners over Arsenal. That's still a latest score as we have it. Manchester City are 1 down to Chelsea. Middlesbrough 4-2 up, and Middlesbrough scored all of their goals very early on. They had 3 within the first half an hour. 4-2 now, but let's get the story at the top of the Premiership. Barry Davis is at the Newcastle match.
It was simply a delightful match. The 2 teams here gave us a Christmas present. From David Ginola came the message, Joyeux Noël. He contributed so much with style, so much with cheek, made the first, scored the second, and in the end went off with his arms aloft. There were many others who contributed to the Newcastle performance. Nothing like as obtrusive was Lee Clark, who always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. The scoring sequence went like this. Lee, after 12 minutes, a goal really made by Ginola. But Wone equalised just 3 minutes later, and Newcastle was certainly set back on the heels. It was a lovely piece of carrying the ball by Wone with his left foot, and he finished with his left foot. 26 minutes, 2-1. Ginola, the scorer, with a fine drive which bent late in. But then, not until the 75th minute were we sure of the outcome, when Lee scored his second of the match. The crossbar at both ends was hit in the second half. It was just thoroughly good entertainment, and Newcastle have made it 10 out of 10.
Yes, a thoroughly convincing performance there, and Newcastle still with that 100% record at St James's Park. Further information for you on those Carling Premiership scores. Liverpool-Arsenal, we've been telling you about 3-1 Robbie Fowler. Ian Wright actually took the lead for Arsenal. It was a penalty. It was right on Wright. Mark Wright fouled Ian Wright, and he scored with the conversion there. The full story of that match now from Clive Tildesley at Anfield.
Well, last season, Robbie Fowler scored a hat-trick against Arsenal in 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Took him a bit longer today, Hazel, 37 minutes, but it brought Liverpool another very deserved victory. Yes, Ian Wright scored from the penalty spot, fouled by Mark Wright after 7 minutes. And Liverpool were made to work very hard for every inch of Anfield, hard to establish their passing game in the first half. But Fowler scored 4 minutes before the break, an important time for Liverpool, and in the second half they were the dominant side. Fed twice by Stan Collymore, he added to his total on the hour mark, and then after 78 minutes, one that David Seaman might have kept out. But Liverpool, playing the kind of football they did against Manchester United last weekend, look the more likely now to break from the Championship posse and put pressure on the top 2. They were good winners today again, and Robbie Fowler was once again the scourge of Arsenal. 3-1 the final score.
So there's some more of the results coming in. The only one we don't have as yet, QPR still 1 up on Aston Villa, and they are still playing there. The story of that Middlesbrough-West Ham match, fascinating one. Jan Fjortov scored in the 22nd minute, and 60 seconds later, Neil Cox added another for Brian Robson, who incidentally was playing today at the Riverside Stadium. Chris Morris got the third in the 29th. John Hendry made it 4-1, and Julian Dix has actually made it 4-2. So that's 4-2 for Middlesbrough. Let's get a quick classified results check now.
Starting with the FA Carling Premiership, Coventry City 2, Everton 1. Liverpool 3, Arsenal 1. Manchester City 0, Chelsea 1. Middlesbrough 4, West Ham United 2. Newcastle United 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Aston Villa 0. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Southampton 2. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Bolton Wanderers 2. Wimbledon 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. The Ensley Insurance League Division 1, Birmingham City 1, Tranmere Rovers 0. Derby County 3, Sunderland 1. Grimsby Town 2, Leicester City 2. Luton Town 2, Huddersfield Town 2. Oldham Athletic 0, Watford 0. Portsmouth 1, Norwich City 0. Reading and Wolverhampton Wanderers, that's a postponed match. Stoke City 2, Sheffield United 2. West Bromwich Albion 2, Crystal Palace 3. League Division 2, Bournemouth 2, Hull City 0. Bradford City 1, Oxford United 0. Bristol Rovers 1, Crewe Alexandra 2. Burnley 0, Bristol City 0. Notts County 1, Blackpool 1. Walsall 0, Swindon Town 0. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Shrewsbury Town 0. League Division 3, Bury 0, Colchester United 0. Chester City 0, Barnet 2. Mansfield Town 0, Hartlepool United 3. Plymouth Argyle 1, Cambridge United 0. Preston North End 0, Gillingham 0. Scarborough 2, Northampton Town 1. Torquay United 0, Darlington 1. Wigan Athletic 1, Lincoln City 1. Bell's Scottish First Division, Clydebank against Airdrieonians, match postponed. Scottish Second Division, Stirling Albion 2, Montrose 0. And in the Third Division, Albion Rovers and Caledonian Thistle, match postponed.
Yes, severe weather up in Scotland, I can vouch for that.
More of that later. Gary and Trevor are tonight's wise men. Well, the Premiership can't be settled at Christmas, but 4 games in 11 days will have a big impact on who does win the title in May. 3 times in the past 4 seasons, the championship has been won by the club leading the table on Christmas Day. This year, it'll be Newcastle. They're already 7 points clear. Could they extend that lead today against Nottingham Forest? Our commentator is Barry Davis.
Another capacity crowd at St James's Park for what is the last home game of the year. Plenty of festive spirit to add to the usual spirit one finds here. And the Toon Army confident that their team will make it 10 wins out of 10. But one Geordie will be fervently hoping to prevent it. Nottingham Forest Steve Stone, a candidate shortly for player of the first half of the season. Robert Lee, Newcastle's Londoner, is another, and in spite of flu bugs, he's fit to take his place in a side which, to quote Kevin Keegan, showed a burning desire to be champions in last week's win over Everton, a win they achieved in spite of being down to 10 men for 2/3 of the contest. Philippe Albert, on as a substitute then, now keeps his place instead of John Beresford, who's down on the substitutes bench. Nottingham Forest only defeated once, but 10 draws in 17 Premiership matches, including the last 5. Their one change from Monday night's draw at Main Road sees the return of Des Little. But David Phillips keeps his place. It's Scott Gemmell who moves down to the bench. Frank Clark back on a ground he knows so well, although it's changed a lot since his day. Still the president of the Newcastle supporters, in spite of being the manager of Nottingham Forest. A home victory would bring a 10-point advantage over Manchester United, but Nottingham Forest have proved themselves, except on one occasion, the most difficult side to beat in the land. First victory for Steve Chettle over Les Ferdinand. But Williams loses out to Lee. First run for Gillespie. And Ferdinand! Well, the second aerial contest was no contest at all because he wasn't really picked up well. But he couldn't direct the header wide of Mark Crossley. Stone. And in comes Lee. It's side netting. Some Forest supporters thought it was in. Some Newcastle supporters feared it was in. Good cross and a good angled run. Got the better of his man, but wide. Man in charge, David Ellery from Harrow. Beardsley. Ferdinand! Well played, Crossley. Did very well then, Mark Crossley. He was somewhat bereft of numbers at the back, Forest, and the pace of Ferdinand brought into play, but the claim was superb. Clark, Beardsley, Ginola. Lovely turn. And the playoff, and the... Number 7 for number 7, Robert Lee. Treadle. Jason Lee. Well, it was a wonderful finish to some superb play by Ginola. Look at Crossley's movement, watching now. Where does his eye go? Well, he didn't see it, I don't think, until it was past his despairing right hand. Williams. Clark. Contest with Stone. All the party pieces are there this afternoon. Little. Campbell. Stone. Bart Williams. Newcastle all back by 1. Wone. Back from Campbell. Good carrying by Wone and a good goal. Well, we've had 2 fine goals in the contest. Really carried the ball beautifully then, Ian Wone, and finished in style. Got a good return from Campbell. But the challenge came in just too late from Howie and past the left hand of Cernicek coming forward. Won it well there in spite of the pressure of Lee. Carried it well all on his left, which of course is his favourite one. And just as he was challenged, goalkeeper being beaten across his face. Ferdinand, Gillespie, Barton makes the forward run, needs to be given, hasn't been, could still be. They got a corner out of it, they might have got more if it had been played in. 20 minutes of a good match. Passed us by. Goal apiece. Beardsley! And it was Lothar Matthäus, the German captain, who first did that. Volley from the corner. Struck it well, but couldn't keep it down. Williams just got to put in. Clark, very aware. Good ball in from Ferdinand Ginola. Beautifully struck. And Frenchman who will play here in the European Championship, if he's selected, surely would get the crowd on the French team side. Hit it well. Cooper. Line of 4 up for Nottingham Forest. That's a very good ball to Phillips. Campbell's in the middle, but neither he nor Cernicek made contact. Barton played it earlier this time. Ginola on the right. Yes! Oh, they all backed away, seemed to be Mark Crossley's comment. It's a bounce in front of the goalkeeper. But Ginola has been threatening to do this virtually since the game started. They all left him. Look how they back away. They give him the space, and then when they close it down, it's too late. Goalkeeper just couldn't kill the bounce, and there was a swerve on the ball. Look at that break at the end. 2-1 Newcastle. Little, Phillips right side. Campbell in what used to be called the inside left position. Phillips was hanging back a bit. Kept it in. And they get the corner. Covered by Howie. Campbell alone in the 6-yard area. Headed out by Ferdinand. Back by Bart Williams. This is Jason Lee. Presumably trying to set up Stuart Pearce, but now there's a hold on this left of the Forest defence. Good ball, Lee Clark. Gillespie. Ginola. Good save. It was labelled. Crossley going right. Made a good parry. There's Little. Trace for Lee again. Stone. Stone again. Strange clearance by Cernicek. Just thumped it with his right fist. Gillespie. Ferdinand sprinting forward. Bidsley rather more sedately, but in the right place at the right time. There's the hole open up again. Oh, and nearly. Piece of cheek by Peter Bidsley. Still looking for his 100th in the league for Newcastle. No doubt, commentators say, saw the goalkeeper off his line. On this occasion, it was dead right. Campbell. Time that Mr. Avery is allowing for the odd stoppage. Too much of that. And we've had 3 goals in the half, and Newcastle have a 2-1 advantage. Robert Lee with a cracking drive. The equaliser, a lovely run with the ball by Ian Wone, and David Ginola scoring with a shot that curled right at the end. That's the one that gives Newcastle the half-time advantage. Well, the meeting between these two sides. Starts the second half 2-1 for Newcastle, who've chalked up 44 wins to Forest's 28. All competitions. No changes in either side. Robert Lee, who started the goal scoring, starts Newcastle up in attack in the second half. Gillespie. Good strong challenge by Pearce. Withstood the first challenge well. Gillespie. In truth, he actually half lost control of the ball. Here's Beardsley. Chance here for the shot. And for a moment it looked as though Crossley was a little surprised to have to get down. Phillips. Little. Albert's clearance again. Phillips. Little. Stone. Worked his position well then to get the right side so that he could get in across. Won't to take. Chettle on the near post. Campbell just ahead of him. Cooper in the centre. Pearce coming in right from the far side. Out to Stone. Jason Lee off the crossbar and away. Jason Lee certainly very unlucky. Clark. Beardsley. Now you see it, now you don't. He's got away, plenty of support up. Oh, and off the crossbar. Gillespie. And over the top from Robert Lee. Oh, the crossbar struck at both ends in the second period. And Lee in the end couldn't keep it down. Campbell into Stone. Oh, he's unlucky. Kept his head really well. Didn't go for the power shot, went for subtlety. And it wouldn't come back. Goalkeeper took a good position. 20 minutes left. 2-1 to Newcastle. Everybody back for Nottingham Forest. Ginola. A super ball. What a super pass. Ferdinand waits in the middle. Oh, and it's on the roof. What a magnificent crossfield ball. And this is how the cross in the end wasn't used, but it was enough to worry Crossley. Little. Seen by Albert. On for Ferdinand. Beautifully timed. Ferdinand with a chance to settle it. Good save. Beardsley. Too hurried. Well, even with all his experience, he had more time than he realised. It was another magnificent ball by Ginola. And Crossley stood up well, blocked well, and the glory shot was from Beardsley. Harry. Albert, injection of pace. Ginola. a spectator for a while, now involved. Beardsley. Lee. Collected the return well. Quality goal. Wonderful goal. Dragging the ball to where he wanted it to be. And it's 3-1 to the home side. And the biggest smile of the day on the face of Robert Lee. Good return, but look how well he works this. Second goal in the match for Robert Lee. He started it, got the return. Slightly behind him, but he dragged it forward to be just where the left foot wanted it. Steve Watson comes on for Newcastle. Gillespie, who's been replaced, and Paul McGregor is on for Forest in place of David Phillips. Attempt by McGregor. The man who got the decisive goal which knocked out Lyon. He's taken Forest on to a journey to Munich to play Bayern. Stuart Pearce, good strike. It's never going to bother him, but even so. And the cry goes up. We're going to win the league. Can't hear anybody arguing. It's only the halfway point. But it's been a hugely impressive first half of the season for Newcastle United. Ferdinand Beardsley! Oh, he's had the chance on a number of occasions this afternoon to get number 100. Well denied by Crossley. Remains up in the 6-yard box. Pearce of England beats Lee of England. But Robert Lee has scored 2 of the goals by which Newcastle have made it 10 wins out of 10. He got the first and the third, with the Frenchman David Ginola getting the second after Wone put the match on the edge at 1-1, and it remained on that edge even at 2-1 until Lee scored his second in the 75th minute. Really a lovely match to watch, graced by this man. They gave us an early Christmas present. Final score at the end of a thoroughly entertaining afternoon is Newcastle United 3, Nottingham Forest 1, and both teams contributed to their entertainment hugely.
I thought Forest today played as well as any team has this season here, and at 1-1 could have gone either way, but Mr. Ginola popped up, and then we started to open them up a little bit as they came out looking for an equaliser. We missed some good chances.
Now, I know that the manager has talked about people looking for Newcastle to slip, but you're not going to, are you?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think this year we got the players. We look a lot stronger than we did last year, and provided we can stay clear of injuries and keep Les fit and Peter fit, then I can't see us topping it at all.
I can safely say if we put the second half of the season the same as the first, we will be champions, but very easily said, hard to do. We've showed all the qualities you need to be champions of this country, but we've got to do it for another, 4 months now, another 19 games. We've also got some tough cup matches coming up, which mustn't sidetrack us, you know, and yet we must want to win. We've got a big squad here, and everybody wants to get in,
and the competition's fierce. And I would have thought in the new year we'll sign 1 or 2 players, especially with the change in the rules now.
Is he trying to frighten the opposition, do you think?
He's frightening his own players there, because Robert Lee was saying with the players we've got now we should do it, but Keegan's saying otherwise. What really impressed me today, though, was the versatility. In the first half, they played a system that they've not been playing. They played 3 at the back because they brought Albert back on the left-hand side, and actually played Peter Beardsley, of all people, on as left-back, or the new wing-back position, pushing forward. And it shows his sort of adaptability. And Ginola was playing behind Les Ferdinand up front. In the second half, they changed things round back to their old system, and Ginola went back onto the left wing, and Peter Beardsley's more familiar position just behind Les Ferdinand. But the truth is, whatever position he played, whatever system they played, Ginola played just as well in both of them. He was sensational today. We pick it up there, Beardsley on that left-hand position, knocks it into him. And just the close control and the skill and the balance as well. Des Little's all over him there. But you see coming up here a lovely Cruyff turn. And then he gets away. But without looking up, he seems to know that Robert Lee's just inside him, and then just flicks it up. He doesn't look, but he just seems to know he's there. And a lovely strike from Lee. Ball bending away from Crossley, who perhaps was fooled by the bend because his footwork wasn't great. Here's another example. Picks it up, jigs one way, goes between the 2 of them, and then gets it back. Now he's juggling it 3, he kept it up, that's his record apparently. And then he knocks another cross in. He knocked crosses in all day. Nobody quite's got on the end of this one. Here we go. Here we're picking him up again on the touchline, drags it back, and put a circle around Les Ferdinand there. He's in a great position to receive the ball, knows what Ginola's going to do, spins behind the defender. Great ball, but sort of some Les is finishing up today, this. He sort of waited, should have perhaps hit it with his left, perhaps took it on, did neither.
If he's got a problem, though, opposition fans, Ginola, think that he's got a suspect centre of balance, don't they? Keeps falling over.
Yeah, that's a polite way of putting it. Yes, he does like to take a little bit of a dive when I think he knows he's not going to get the ball, but I mean, watch the skill for a start. This is the good bit, that Cruyff turn again. Knocks it one side and goes the other, realises he's perhaps not going to get it, and he will go down quickly. But to be honest, it's really a cultural difference, because we're the only country in the world that looks down on people, that despise this sort of behaviour. On the continent, it's deemed as part of the game, and he'll get some stick from it, but he won't really understand why, because that's basically the done thing in other parts of the world.
Yeah, can understand our fans not liking him too much, though, can't you?
Yeah, it's a British thing. We don't like that sort of thing. We're not accustomed to it. It's cultural.
Well, in the 68 years since Newcastle were last champions, Liverpool and Arsenal have won the title 24 times. And as this season reached its halfway stage today, they were both once again among the top 6 clubs in the league. Can Liverpool or Arsenal yet mount a title challenge? Today's game at Anfield could provide the answer. The commentator is Clive Tilsley.
20 years of age and already a proven match winner. Just ask Arsenal, because in this match last season, Robbie Fowler beat them with a 5-minute hat-trick. A couple more against Manchester United last weekend, took his Premiership total to 50. He's a big occasion player with a big future. For the present, Liverpool are without Rush, Redknapp, Babb and Ruddock, all injured. It's the same lineup that sparkled against United last Sunday. Michael Thomas, looking to secure a lasting future with Liverpool, faces the club for whom he clinched the championship on this ground in 1989. Tony Adams and Steve Bold missed the reunion, though. Both are suspended. Martin Keown and Andy Linnigan will try to fill the gap. Ray Parlour is back, and in the absence of the injured Dennis Bergkamp, so is his fellow countryman Glenn Helder. Anfield has happy memories for him too. He was in the Dutch team that beat Ireland here 10 days ago. Keith Cooper has managed to dodge the shopping expedition for the start of the Christmas rush. The first of 4 matches in 9 days. In Liverpool's case, 4 matches against teams in the top half of the table. Keown up above Collymore. McManaman. And here is Stan Collymore. Might get another shot at it yet. Andy Linnigan tied it up. A chance inside of 35 seconds for Stan Collymore. McManaman floated it in, and Collymore really didn't make any sort of contact at all. He hit it against himself. Liverpool will be patient. Thomas. Barnes. Collymore. And still. Oh, it could have gone down there. I think Seaman caught him. Keown smuggled it away. Jones had a shot. Thomas. Barnes. Thomas trying to get there. And Keown ran across him. And the referee waves play on. I wonder if the referee would have waved play on if Collymore had gone down, though. Because when Collymore committed David Seaman here, I'm not sure the keeper didn't just get a touch there. Maybe not. Just got away with it. Fowler's got it, and he was yanked to the ground by Keown. Liverpool kept the ball momentarily. Right. Merson is to his right, but he's got a lot of red shirts around him, including Mark Wright. And what's that? That's a penalty. Right on right. Well, it was all his own work. He was completely isolated. Liverpool had defenders to spare, but Mark Wright insisted on trying to make the challenge, and down went Ian Wright. Top end, he's 2 from 3 from the spot this season. Now he's 3 from 4, and Arsenal lead after 7 minutes. A penalty won by Ian Wright, scored by Ian Wright. His first league goal in half a dozen games. Barnes. Fowler. Collymore. And again. Oh, good save. Well, he didn't begin to get hold of the first one, but he caught hold of the second one all right. David Seaman had to react quickly. First was a bit embarrassing, the second power-packed. Flick from Parlour. Oh, Merson! Ooh! Well, I'm not quite sure how he found the ball at his feet, but once he did, he had a clear side of the goal. And Paul Merson had a great chance to double Arsenal's money there. Held up. Barnes to McAteer. Rob Jones. Steve McManaman. Arsenal will be sick of the side of Robbie Fowler. Steve Hartness. Mark Wright. Collymore doing his best to conjure up something out of nothing. Barnes doing likewise. Oh. Screamed over David Seaman's head like a low-flying jet. We've played the best part of 5 minutes of stoppage time. It's been a riveting contest. Arsenal, with a lot of application and enthusiasm, have made Liverpool work for every inch of Anfield and made them come from behind. Ian Wright's penalty equalised by Robbie Fowler. 2 very good finishes on the score sheet again. The Arsenal manager, Bruce Rioch, has a good track record at Anfield. Victorious on his last visit with Bolton in an FA Cup replay 3 years ago. He never lost here as a player, and only once as a manager so far. That was in his Middlesbrough days. Barnes, McManaman, here's Collymore. Both of them just lost track of it for a moment, but Keown found it first. Thomas. Body check by Parlour. think Jensen felt there was an earlier foul there by Collymore. It's McAteer. And now McManaman. Well, Franz Beckenbauer couldn't have done that in his prime. Jones. Collymore! Well, I'm not sure that's exactly what Andy Linnigan had in mind. I think he was just trying to turn it away at the first time of asking, but he instead just took the pace off the ball and calmly played it away. Fowler looking for Collymore. That's just the kind of ball Stan Collymore loves. Tentative finish. Went for placement, which is not really Stan Collymore's natural style in front of goal. I just felt he was going to leather this one with his left foot. Had to twist and contort his body to get it onto his favoured right foot. Nice pass from Fowler. Jones with McManaman outside of him. Coming inside onto his more natural right foot, trying to play McAteer in. Had a bit of pace about it. Seaman got body behind the ball, but couldn't deal with it cleanly at the first time of asking. McAteer stretching to get there, nevertheless got some power behind the shot. McManaman! It's a rare old sight when he runs at defenders and takes the responsibility himself, Steve McManaman. Yeah, there's a chink in his armour at the moment, maybe, that he doesn't score quite enough goals, but that was on target for a moment, wasn't it? And it just curled away. Well, it's Ray Parlour's first senior game since a cartilage operation on the 4th of November. So no surprise that he's lasted only a little short of an hour. Scott Marshall, who's a central defender by trade, is his replacement, making his first Arsenal appearance since the end of the 93 season, although he had a long spell on loan to Sheffield United last season. 22-year-old Scott. It's Robbie Fowler from Collymore's touch, and it's 2-1. The scourge of Arsenal, Robbie Fowler. Born to score. And Scott Marshall, the Arsenal substitute, had been on the field about 10 seconds. It was Linnigan that Fowler got beyond from Collymore's flick on, and the finish again emphatic. Left foot this time, corner of the net again. Amazing to think he started the season on the Liverpool substitutes bench. I'm sure the substitution was a result of Fowler's lack of match fitness, but it couldn't have come at a worse time, because now they've got three centre-halves on the field, and they're 2-1 down. Fowler, here goes McManaman, and Fowler again, hat-trick hunting. Not this time, not yet anyway. Terrific movement though, almost bewildering movement. Arsenal couldn't quite keep up with the way the ball was being zipped about. Rather unusual choice of finish from Fowler outside of the left foot. He wouldn't argue with anything he does in front of goal. Thomas. Fancied his chances there for a minute. Fowler. Thomas again. Collymore did well under pressure from Linnigan. Now McAteer. Collimore's cross. But Manaman couldn't quite beat Keogh into the ball. Collymore getting another chance. It's Fowler this time. It's there! Hat-trick last year, hat-trick this year. To Stan Collymore, the assist. To Robbie Fowler, the glory. Well, it took him 4 minutes and 33 seconds last season. It's taken a little longer this time. David Seaman will be disappointed about that. Both hands to it, just beat it into the corner of the net. But Robbie Fowler is slap bang in form. Long way back to North London. One or two of them making an early start. There goes McAteer. Liverpool hungry for more. Away from Winterburn. Fowler. Oh. Seaman got to that one all right. He was heading for the same place though, bottom corner. Doesn't miss the target much, does he? Liverpool do have some ground to make up, but Rush and Ruddock and Babb are back in light training. They should be available sometime over the Christmas programme. Jamie Redknapp may well have a little longer to wait. But they're certainly well stocked up for the winter. They had a terrific Christmas last season. They won 4 out of 4. They need that kind of run. But they are playing the kind of football which suggests they can produce it. We're at the halfway mark in the championship race, and the course and distance specialists are still very much in the hunt, thanks to a second consecutive hat-trick against Arsenal by Robbie Fowler, whom Roy Evans says may yet figure in the European Championship plans of Terry Venables. He believes he's good enough. Arsenal haven't won a league game for over a month now, 4 points out of the last 15. Bruce Rioch has some missing pieces to find. Robbie Fowler has found a ball for everyone to autograph. And Roy Evans has good players to add to a winning team. It's a formula for a happy new year for Liverpool. Good winners today, 3-1.
Robbie against Arsenal the last couple of years has been phenomenal. I think a hat-trick in the last 2 home games. That's terrific. But I think I must pay a comment to Stan. I think he had a hand in all 3 goals, and people have said that they can't play together. But they're making it work, and that's the most important thing. Down to them.
The gaffers told me to improve my all-round play, and we went through a spell last month where we couldn't score goals, but I thought my all-round play was getting better all the time. So I mean today, I've scored sort of 3 goals, but I thought my play outside the box was better as well.
He's not in the England squad at the moment. He is very young, but you believe that he's good enough to be in Terry Venables' thinking, yes?
Well, they talk about this young Clivert, and he's younger than Robbie. They say he's a world beater. They've always said if you're good enough, you're old enough. I'm sure he's in Terry's mind. I mean, I talk to Terry on a reasonably regular basis, and he's in Terry's mind. But he's got to force his way in, and that's the way to do it with goals.
I think this is a club here that can go on and win a championship this year.
Really?
I do. I think they have a capability. They're very strong, they're very mobile. They've got good finishers, good goal scorers. Their control and passing is excellent. And Roy's put together an excellent team, and I think they've got an outstanding chance of being a championship team this year.
And are they a little bit further down the road of transition than Arsenal at the moment?
I would say they're quite a bit further down the road. I think we've got quite a bit of work to do, and now we have to start doing that work.
Well, the clarion call from Merseyside tonight is Robbie Fowler for England, Trevor.
Got a few to dislodge, that's his problem. I mean, Shearer, Ferdinand, Sheringham, Barnby, Beardsley, wherever you look. But he is, I think, as good a finisher as there is in our league. I mean, he's clinical finishing. He had to work very hard, a lot of good, unselfish running this afternoon for about 40 minutes before he had a bit of joy. And that's good to see because, any class striker has to get that space. Here you see him spinning off his marker, it's Linnigan on this occasion, offering himself up, but allowing space then for McManaman then to move and run and sort of release Jones down that left-hand side. Again, when it is played through the middle, and Liverpool do like to go in this area, you've got then to get out the way. Look at him running, offering himself as a channel, but then giving space for McManaman to switch play later on. And of course, after 40 minutes, he got his reward. Here you see him just sort of wandering offering himself up between the two Arsenal midfielders. Now, Steve McManaman on the ball, realises he's not going to get it, gets out of the way, makes the space for the ball to go into Collymore, loses his marker and turns and comes back inside. A little backlift. I mean, it was a wonderful strike, really. And really, as well, he is aware that's what's good. He's not just in the penalty area. He made the point himself. He's got to be that little bit more contributing outside the area. Lovely weighted pass there through the Collymore. And again, in the penalty areas, though, where he comes to life. Bad cross by Stan. And this one, then, when it comes in, you must wonder where the Arsenal defenders were. Look, 3, 4 of them. But he's just pulled off by a couple of yards and picked his spot. And certainly in the penalty area, he looks so comfortable. You expect him to score.
One man who is in the England frame, obviously, is Steve McManaman, and he absolutely scampers at defenders, doesn't he? He gets them backing up all the time.
Well, he's in the squad. I'd like just to see him play a different role for England, the one he plays for Liverpool, because normally he's out wide, whereas certainly he just has a floating role, go over where you like and pick up the ball. And here he picks it up in the middle, lovely on the half-turn. I do like to see somebody who's on the half-turn, and then he just scampers at defenders. And you just don't like to see somebody running at you like that. He does commit people, and we haven't got enough of that. I mean, Ginola did it, of course, in the previous game, and he is the one player who's happy running with the ball, going at people, and I think, you know, the national side do need somebody like that. But he then darts down the left. He can pick up those wide positions without being stuck out there. I mean, if there is one criticism, as has been said, it's his shooting. I mean, that was one of his better efforts, but he is a bit handbags, a bit like myself in those situations. I thought I'd get him before Gary did. But I think, you know, if he could add that, but I think I would like just to see him in that new sort of role for England, definitely. He's worth a chance there.
So both our main games today producing 4 goals apiece, but they weren't the biggest score in the Premiership.
It's Calypso time in the northeast at the moment, and why not? Since his arrival, Juninho has at times captivated Middlesbrough's fans. He did so today. That exquisite pass to Jan Arge Fjortov, and the first goal was duly celebrated. Goal number 2 was a minute later. Juninho's willingness to take on defences again opening up the way, but full credit to Neil Cox. His work still had to be done, and that finish would have pleased anyone. The Middlesbrough celebrations, is he riding a horse in full style? Middlesbrough went 3 up on the half hour. Full marks again to Neil Cox, setting up this measured far post cross. And Chris Morris rounded off the move with an excellent header. West Ham did get back into the game in the second half for a moment. Ian Dowie was sent clear, and he looked like scoring himself. But Gary Walsh produced a good stop, only to see Tony Cottee follow up to score easily. Middlesbrough's 4th goal was a very special one for the club's leading scorer last season. It was made by Jamie Pollock, who broke clear down the left. And his pass eventually fell to John Hendry, his first goal of the season, indeed his first game as well. Juninho's copybook display, though, was marred by this encounter between the Brazilian and Julian Dix. Juninho was booked for that, showing that he's not afraid of the hard men. Julian's reaction, well, one of mild amusement, I think. Indeed, Mr. Dix had something to cheer himself, a late consolation goal, driving a 20-yard shot past Gary Walsh. But the talk of Middlesbrough, if not Julian Dix, is about one man, Juninho.
He's something else, yes, and it's a great talent. I mean, and for him to come to this country, I mean, he should fill grounds every week.
After their 6-goal romp last week, Wednesday must have fancied all 3 points against a weakened Southampton. But the Saints, without Le Tissier and Barry Venison, took the lead early on. Neil Shipley's shot hit the foot of the post, and Neil Heaney, following up, really couldn't miss. Wednesday's reply was really a gift. Lee Briscoe's cross was good, but Richard Hall's hand was too obvious for the referee to ignore. Hall's aberration clearly shown from this angle. It certainly didn't worry David Hurst, who fired in the penalty in his customary gentle fashion. Wednesday took the lead 5 minutes into the second half. It wasn't Richard Hall's day, was it? Mark Bright bundled down and penalty number 2 awarded. Hurst again from the penalty, only this time rather lucky. Besant nearly produced a good save. One thing you can guarantee with Wednesday these days is action, and Saints grabbed their equaliser with a controversial penalty. Ian Nolan swept in there, seemed to take the ball. Matthew Oakley was the man who tumbled. Jim Magilton was given the chance to rescue a point for Southampton, a result they'll be reasonably pleased with, and one which underlines that they're still a very difficult side to beat.
Harry Grayson reporting, and no shortage of candidates for December's Goal of the Month. November's competition was won by Tottenham's Teddy Sheringham, the trophy presented to the England striker before today's home game against Bolton by 14-year-old Alistair Stewart from Southampton, who'd correctly forecast the 1-2-3 order. Sheringham had earlier been past fit to play in a Tottenham team which hadn't conceded a goal in their last 5 matches. Bolton, who had £1 million Nathan Blake making his debut after signing this week from Sheffield United, hadn't yet taken a point from 9 away games. The commentator is Gerald Sinstadt.
Pulled back and tipped over by Walker. Kurcic taking the corner short, touching it back, and Todd's shot had to be watched all the way by Walker. Armstrong, good acceleration, good cross, Sheringham in there. Paddy Sheringham, there's nothing wrong with his jump here to Armstrong's excellent cross. And again Brannigan is out, but this time against the post from Armstrong. Wilson, Brannigan is back and has kept it out, only just. And the goal is empty. Brannigan is arriving, stops it, only just. Mabbott up on the line, Rosenthal there causing a problem. There was some holding going on. Saved again by Brannigan. Armstrong with the acrobatic bicycle kick, and Brannigan just got a hand too. McGinley, bending one. McGinley quickly onto the right foot, bent it well, and only just beat the far post. Calls for handball. Referee's content to give a corner. Good header, and it's gone in now. Looked as though it had been saved once. Brannigan seemed all at sea with it, came back off the post, and Sheringham got the final touch, although it may just have come off a defender on the line. Sheringham will claim it, and it will go down as goal number 15 for the England striker. Oh, Blake. McGinley going into the middle. Comfortable catch. Ian Walker has been very secure again. It's a very good break here by Armstrong, and goal number 2. All the way from Walker. Armstrong quickest to react. Excellent bit of finishing, following in just in case Brannigan left dumbfounded. Tottenham 2, Bolton 0. But now here's a possibility for them. Walker has come out, but he's been beaten. Scott Green pulls Bolton back into the game. Little slip on the edge of the penalty area. Rewarded the fullback for an afternoon of constant marauding. Held off Wilson, and a clever little toe-ender over Walker, 2-1. To keep their team on the toes. He's in the middle again now, waiting for a cross, and he's there, and it's 2-2. Bolton right back in the game, thanks to a Tottenham old boy. Gudni Bergson equalises for Bolton Wanderers. McGinley couldn't do it, Bergson could. Roy, that away point's been a long time coming.
It has been, and I thought today, Joe, that possibly we deserved the 3 of them.
Certainly in the first 40 minutes, you look much the better side.
Well, as you say, the first 40 minutes, the last 5 were a little bit hectic, and we've got Brannigan again to thank. He's had a very good game today, but overall the team has played very, very well, and I thought we dominated the first half.
And then at 2-0 down, you look dead and buried.
Yeah, I think that shows the spirit that we've got in the club and the spirit that's in the dressing room. We keep telling people, and they've had a lot of knocks this season, the players, in terms of losing goals late in the game. and in that sense we've lost a lot of points. But I think today has shown the spirit that's in the club, and none more so than Scott Green. He got the important goal, obviously, to put us back into the game.
Goodney Bergson will have enjoyed his.
Well, I think coming back to Tottenham and to one of the clubs that you played for and scoring a goal, and again, it's important in the sense that, like you said earlier on, it's our first point.
A roundup now of the games involving other teams at the bottom of the league.
Coventry, currently second from bottom in the Premiership, are desperately in need of points. So when John Solarco's far post corner found defender Dave Boost rising above Everton's defence early in the second half, you could sense the relief. Paul Rideout came on for Anders Limpar and immediately swung the game in Everton's favour. However, manager Ron Atkinson felt there was a suspicion of offside. Coventry worked hard and were rewarded by obtaining their third league victory of the season, and due to the new signing Noel Whelan, here scoring his first goal for the club, and a nice Christmas present for the manager.
Yeah, but if you look now, you know, we've tightened up on a few teams today now, and who knows if we come out with 2 or 3 more good results over the holiday period, and all of a sudden there's other teams have got sucked into it, and we might have clawed ourselves into some sort of respectability.
It took a controversial goal by Kevin Gallen to lift Queen's Park Rangers' fortunes. Villa manager Brian Little expressed further doubt about the validity of the Rangers' goal after consulting the linesman. Insult was eventually added to injury when substitute Hendry was sent off after this clumsy challenge on Brevitt, and leaving Villa with their second defeat in 9 Premiership games. Chelsea went to Main Road in confident mood after a run of 5 games without defeat. However, it's not often you see strikers of Mark Hughes' class missing chances like this. Ruud Gullit crowned his return to Premiership football by playing a major part in the downfall of Manchester City, here providing Gavin Peacock's first goal of the season.
I was so happy that I could play again because, you know, you feel frustrated when you can't. And after 6 weeks of doing nothing, I finally could play with the team, and that inspired me, I think.
Wimbledon hadn't won for 15 games and seemed booked for their 5th home defeat of the season when Alan Kimball tried to block an Alan Shearer shot, only to see his deflection roll past Paul Heald and trickle inside the far post, Tim Sherwood arriving to deliver the last rites. Joe Kinnear, 2-1 favourite to take the Ireland job before today's result, must have been relieved when 7 minutes from time, Tim Flowers failed to hold a Leard Hodgson 25-yard shot. Robbie Earle gratefully accepting the gift.
And Garth Crooks, the reporter. Well, despite their draw today, Bolton are now 5 points adrift at the bottom. QPR's win has lifted them up 1 place. Manchester City were the only team in the bottom 7 who didn't get at least a point. Newcastle's lead at the top is now 10 points. Manchester United, who stay second after Tottenham could only draw, play their game in hand tomorrow at Leeds. Liverpool's win takes them up into 3rd place. Well, now, are you still searching for one last Christmas present? Match of the Day offers a seasonal suggestion.
New from the BBC this Christmas, a net-busting, crowd-pleasing, stocking-filling video. The greatest goals ever scored, narrated by Alan Hansen.
Well, for me, this is just terrible defending. And there's Dennis Law on the ball. He was never a very, very, very fast player. But the defenders come diving in 1-2 there. Gives it to Kidd. Nobody covers him at all. A simple ball inside to Charlton, and that's a very, very easy tap-in for him. OK, and here are the Brazilian team from 1970. A lot has been said about this team, and a lot of it over-exaggerated as far as I can see. OK, they're a passing side, but look at the Italians there, standing off and letting them play. Great defending there, somebody covering, but he comes diving in there. There's Pele, man coming from the outside, there he is. Simple pass to him, and, well, it's a simple chance for him, really. You've got to put a lot of question marks against the Italian defence.
Featuring England's best, the world's best, George Best.
There's Jimmy Greaves on the ball. He was never a fast player at all. And the defence there just standing like statues. Greaves, he has to do nothing. It's handed to him on a plate there. That's just very, very lucky. You just got to close players down. And that's just inexcusable. Dreadful marking.
Moments of magic.
OK, and here the defender's very unlucky because look at the quality of the light. And it's black and white as well. Very difficult to pick him out in that sort of condition.
Moments of genius.
OK, and here's our friend Dennis Law again. Now there he goes, Law. Goalkeeper comes off his line there to get the ball, but doesn't he do it? And there's one defender who covers for the keeper. In those situations, for me, you've got to get 11 men lined up on the goal line. Where are they? Nowhere in sight.
Moments of skill.
Very, very, very poor. Terrible. There's no excuse for that. That is inexcusably inexcusable.
And we'll always remember this.
Justin Fashion, who gets the ball on the seconds, had a lot of credit for this over the years, but look at the space the defender gives him there. And if we look at it again, we've circled the defender here, and oh, it's me.
This video is not available in the shops. If you want to reserve a copy, then call Alan Hansen on 0898 oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's Alan Hansen on 0898 oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
There are no good goals, only bad defending.
Well, it makes us feel better after our sports review stitch up. But I mean, just it would have been the icing on the cake, that last little clip with him defending. If Gary or I could have been the scorer, you know, just scoring the goal as he backed off, that would have been the best. But it was good stuff.
We can't work miracles.
We were pleased with that, anyway.
Right, thanks very much for your contribution tonight, gentlemen. Thanks also, obviously, to the voice on our Christmas cracker there, which was Alistair McGowan. Well, Newcastle have reached the halfway stage of the season, 10 points clear, still planning to buy new players, and contributing today to a match of the day goal feast. Good night.
Lovely turn. And the playoff. Barton played it earlier this time. Ginola on the right. Yes!
Stan Collymore, Rob Fowler. He's done it!
Good carrying by Wone and a good goal.
Stand-up comedy that won't sit down, coming next on BBC One. And Match of the Day celebrates 25 years of the goal of the season competition in this new BBC video compilation.